Last game, we shouldn't forget about that crazy opening where it kind of dictated the pace of the game and said, hey, Hero, you're going to have to take your assimilator very quick because I'm doing something crazy over here.
Yeah. On to Belshire Vestige we go, Kev, where we see spawning up in the, spawning up in the top left-hand corner of the map. The red Protoss player is Liquid Hero.
Just one map away from elimination. It's actually kind of crazy to think about. We've seen Hero throughout the entire year. He's been fantastic, been to so many tournaments. He wanted to be here badly at BlizzCon, and now he's just one map away of being eliminated of the tournament. But it's not over yet. We've seen a lot of crazy comebacks, and if there's one tournament to never give up and never surrender, it has to be the tournament of the year.
One map away, but that also means he's got one more chance, Kev. His opponent down in the bottom right-hand corner, leading 2-0. SOS.
All that Hero needs is a probe and a chair, and he can still participate, and he can still win.
Well, hopefully he's got a keyboard and a mouse in there, too.
No, all he needs is a probe and a chair.
Right now, both players just chrono boosting workers. No early gateways, no early craziness from anybody.
Yeah, last game we had a very crazy opening from SOS, trying to steal both assimilators. At least that's what I took away of what he tried to do. This game is going to be a little more different. We've seen multiple times that Hero loves playing Stargate on this map. It's very good against the one-gate fast expand, but against a player like SOS, who seems to still love Blink Stalkers a lot in this matchup. And you know, I'm actually kind of pleased to see them still playing Blink Stalkers this often, because I've often said as well, on my own stream multiple times, I feel if you're able to open Blink Stalkers the majority of the time and not get behind, it is the best way to play, because you're dictating the pace of the game. You are looking for opportunities, you are looking for weaknesses, and if you find one, you might walk in 3 additional Blink Stalkers and win the game.
Yeah.
If not, you just expand while having map control. But I always felt it's such a hard style to execute, because you know, I always overcommitted with my Stalkers, and I was behind, I wasn't able to make them pay for themselves. But SOS, the way they scout, the way they make their decisions, it's actually insane. And both Heroes
also
as
the
well.
times when they choose to kind of stop and cut units, and it's just crazy. As we see the hands of these two players just absolutely lightning fast. Picking up over 300 APM. SOS burning up his keyboard.
Man, that's a beautiful keyboard there by SOS.
Yeah, man.
Old school, just simple, white. You know, with the one yellow key, he's like, yeah!
We autographed one of those.
I actually would love to see his entire keyboard being black and yellow. And every time he wins, he just stands up and he's like, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Militia Core on the way already for SOS. Hero's taking a little bit more time to get a sentry out first.
So what is Hero going to do in game number 3 here of this PvP in the round of 16 at BlizzCon 2013? Is it going to be a Stargate this time? I wouldn't mind seeing it, even though against the Blink Stalker opening from SOS it could get risky. There we go, Twilight Council once more. SOS is a true believer. This could even be Dark Templars this time. Let's not forget about that. That's something you should never wipe out or forget about in PvP. And Hero's going for the 1-gate expand. I don't mind that. As we mentioned before, the good old 1-gate fast expand into a robotics facility might be an excellent way for Hero to survive the Blink Stalker phase of this game and get ahead. But it's also risky. If SOS drops 2 additional gates and goes from 2 to 4 gates, or he's most likely going to go 3 gates anyways, and goes for that forward blink into the main base from the low ground, and Hero is slightly out of position. It's a Dark Shrine. This might be good news for Hero. Yeah, unless Hero tries to metagame him and goes for a Twilight, but that's not the case. Hero drops the Robo-Ban. I like this. This should be a good opening for Liquid Hero.
SOS is expanding very quickly as well. Hero did manage to scout that Nexus. On the other side of the map, we see a couple sentries are out. Hero should not take any damage from these D2s.
No, he's going to send a hallucinated Phoenix across the map as well. And this guy, this could be a game changer. This could keep Hero in this tournament, at least for now, if he's just going to scout everything that's going on in the main base. If he sees the Twilight, but above all sees the Dark Shrine, because that's going to be very important. Barely misses the hallucinated Oracle.
But will not miss the Dark Shrine right there in the back of the base. Good catch, Hero.
I love how he sent just that double click, you know, it's rallied and he's like, well, let me just double check to see if that's the Dark Shrine. And it is. So Hero is definitely going to get an observer at all costs on top of his army. We can already see the first observer in production. Dropping a Robo-Bait there as well, perhaps trying to follow this up with a Colossi push, being like, hey, if you open up with Dark Templars and you won't do anything with them, I might have a window of opportunity to make something happen with my with Colossus, or he's going for Immortal drop, which could be the case as well, because he's saying, hey, you invest your gas into a Dark Shrine, that means that Immortal drop could be extremely effective in this phase of the game, because you won't have Blink. or he cancels the Robo Bay and makes a Stargate.
SOS finishes the Dark Shrine, but
This is crazy, man.
doesn't make a single DT. He is instead going to start a Warp Prism. So dropping DTs with a Warp Prism or warping them into the main base is never a bad idea. Hero, knowing to look for this, is going to go find the pylon.
Yeah, I love the decisions they make on this level. SOS is like, yes, I made the investment into Dark Shrine, but that doesn't mean I'm going to have to warp in a couple of DTs and just run them into your army where there's an observer on top of them and waste all my resources. He's saving it for a rainy day, and it could definitely rain in PvP.
Also gotta like how the probe that built that pylon never left that pylon. Nothing to reveal.
Nothing to reveal. Nothing going on over there. Stalker did find it eventually. Azuz is going to try to peek in and see like what's waiting over here for me. But he knows that he can't commit. Or he might actually meet up with the Warp Prism. He's going to get picked up. The Dark Templar is like, plop!
It's going to be multi-pronged DTs.
Well, the Phoenix is about to spawn as well. This won't be very successful for Azuz. So far, everything has been going Hero's way. I find the Stargate transition a funky one, a risky one.
Cute warp in there. The Warp Prism is going to be chased by this Phoenix, the second DT, and the Natural was, of course, immediately dealt with. This Warp Prism is going to go down. The Dark Templar, however, lives to be a ninja.
I mean, the Phoenixes are extremely good against an army where there's no Blink Stalkers and there's just like Immortals and there's not too much gas to spend for SOS. So I do think that these Phoenixes can pay for themselves, but they arrive in a much later stage of the game than what they would normally arrive. You might actually find an Immortal here. If they pick it up multiple times, they might be able to kill it, but I don't think he wants to waste all of his energy on it.
Yeah, that Immortal.
I think it was a bait by SOS. He's like, free Immortal!
Hero doesn't fall for it. He wants to get a couple probe kills instead. He'll fly into the main base and lift 2 probes immediately before dancing away.
So the Stargate that I called on Belcher did happen eventually, but it came after...
it was a very meta Stargate,
It came after a Robo and a cancelled Robo Bay. Interesting stuff by Hero.
This just proves the depth of your PvP analysis, in my opinion.
Totally. Spot on, as always.
I knew he was going to drop that Robo first, and I knew he was going to cancel the Robo base. It's just how he plays.
5 additional gates going down for Hero, but he's not producing any probes either. This is telling us that Hero wants to get a little crazy over here. At least that's... No, I guess he kind of needs a gate anyways, because he never really made additional gates.
Why is there a photon overcharge in Natural?
Deal with the Phoenixes, push them away. Because there are not too many anti-I units for SOS. SOS has 2 sentries and a Stalker. So he's like, if I can throw an overcharge, at least my probes stay alive for me.
It could make this next attack a little harder to deal with. Hero's going to let him kill another probe as every indication points towards him setting up for a big push.
Hero's going to drop the Templar Archives as well as Immortal Archon is going to be the way to go this game as well. SOS does have the upgrade advantage, man. The +2 is already halfway down, while +1 is just about to finish up for Hero. Can be very important in PvP.
Pretty big scout for SOS, flying that hallucinated Phoenix over those warped-in gateways. The building, Templar Archives. He sees what's coming, and this could allow him to prepare for it. Man, he's going to have +2 soon.
So, Hero's going to try to pick up Sentry there. He will be able to do so. He will be able to pick up the second Sentry as well. A ridiculous amount of feedback did land on all those Phoenixes. But not before he was able to pick up 2 Sentries there. And that's nice. That means no hallucinated Phoenixes, and it also means no Guardian Shield if it would come to a big engagement.
106 supply for Hero, 88 for SOS. Hero, his army continues to grow. SOS has a probe in position to start a 3rd base. That is the bravest thing I think he could do.
Yeah, this is not the moment for that SOS. Oh, you're going to have to cancel that one. Hero's going to be extremely pleased to spot this. Robo Bay going down for SOS as well. I think SOS is kind of misreading what's going on over here. I don't think he's aware of this army marching across the map as well. As well as you're going to have to put your units in a better position because you're going to need a time warp and a photon overcharge to defend against this.
This poor probe. He's got a bad job. He may not walk into that army. Hero's actually showing that he might want to expand. This could be a fake. It's probably going to be a fake. It might be a fake. I don't think it's going to be a fake.
No, it could be real. I mean, he has a Mothership Core with his army as well. He could always recoil out, but Hero is reading the game, at least that's what I think is going on, perfectly. He knows his army is slightly stronger. He's also forcing out a lot of defensive actions now from SOS, and SOS might scout his army soon and be like, how am I going to deal with this?
+2 against +1 upgrades. How much of a difference is that going to make in the fight?
It's important, but it's not as crucial as, for instance, like in a PvP where your Zealots have +2 armor against 0/0 Marines. But it's pretty damn important. This, however, is going to be very important. Massive Zealot warping in the main base by Hero is going to be able to pick up a lot of probes. The Phoenixes are there to help out as well. They can, of course, lift up
Oh, Nexus taking a lot of damage. Phoenix is continuing to try to help out. Hero, at the same time, is moving towards the 3rd base. And SOS has got to choose where he's going to defend. Supply-wise, Hero is way ahead, 130 supply to 106. This Nexus will go down. A great pickoff for Hero. And actually, SOS just taps out. GG, Hero.